Hi, welcome back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. As soon as I finished recording last week, the skies opened up and it rained. Uh, Little sections of very heavy rain, which is good and it settled the dust, but in terms of soaking into the ground and making any impact on the dams, uh, definitely not at this point. And now we're back to hot weather with another few days of over 30 degrees coming. So I was definitely too quick to say that we weren't going to get any rain. And it was nice and it made the air smell really lovely. I love the smell of fresh rain on dry ground and something about it. And it gave everything a little bit of a green tinge. But still, the dams are about the same as they were before, but for sure, our tanks and the gardens have done quite well from the rain that we had. Speaking of the dams, because they are so low, it's a good opportunity now to actually dig them out, scrape some of the silt and stuff off the bottom, and create hopefully some more capacity for them to take water once it does get wet. So Adam has been doing that with our newish now tractor at the main dam, digging out from the middle and then taking it round and adding that to the dam wall so that hopefully it builds up the wall as well. So then the capacity will be even greater. So that's good news. On one of the slightly cooler days, I went for a little walk and I checked the trees down by the dam and they're doing surprisingly well. Despite me telling you about the fact that the kangaroos can now get in and eat them, it doesn't look like they're having too much of a field day in there. And we've got trees that are probably about getting some of them are close to a meter high now. It's quite spindly, but they're getting some growth on them. I also checked out a big wombat mound. From here, where I sit in the shed, I can look out the window and I could see this spot that looked like a bit of a landslide, just dirt in the midst of all of this grass. I'm like, that looks really weird, like up on the side of the hill. So I went for a walk over there and it's a really big hole and all of this dirt has been dug out and flung everywhere. And clearly it's a very healthy wombat burrow, I think it would be called, which is quite exciting to have some local wombats using our bushland. Business wise, pretty much all I've been doing this week is re-scanning all of that wispy lace that I dyed last week. It takes quite a long time to get it all into the lovely skeins that you see at a yarn show. So I'm doing all of that at the moment. My delivery of DK yarn has arrived, so I will also be getting some of that dyed up soon. Um, Maybe this weekend, if I can stand to be here in the heat, maybe if I come over early in the morning, get quite a batch done, and then sort of do the next section early the next morning. I am experimenting with some non-yarn ideas. Um, so I have a few exciting things coming up, trialing a few different options of some things that are sort of yarn adjacent. Once I've got the samples kind of ready to go, I will probably show them here and maybe even ask for some feedback and some ideas about things that you might like to see. And then they will be available at markets moving forward. Knitting and crochet, I'm actually a little bit embarrassed. I have not worked on anything or any of my current projects. That's what I'm going to say. Any of my current projects. So after I finished last week, I was excited. I was going to work on my grassland tank and get that done. And then I was just thinking, it's actually not that long to my sister's birthday. It's in May, but I'd promised that I'd make her a jumper. And I'm like, I actually better get started on this jumper. Otherwise, I'm going to not give myself enough time. So rather than work on all of the other things that I already have on the needles, I decided to cast that on instead. I'm kind of making up the pattern. It is based on, so the actual pattern numbers I'm using are the True Stripes jumper from the 52 weeks of Chunky Knits, Easy Knits. I think it's Easy Knits. And then, but the concept and the look is based on this picture that I saw on Instagram. And so I'm kind of doing a combo thing myself. So I am using the Valley 8 ply. It's 100% acrylic from Spotlight. And this is in the Latrobe colorway. And it's brown and orange and yellow and then a really cute dusty pink. And then for the ribbing, I am using this pink, which is the Macleod Vera, which is 80% acrylic, 20% wool from Spotlight as well. And this is in the, look, the cat's chewed the end, the ruby colorway. So those two. And then for the detail on the arms, I'm going to be using the Vera Otis Faux in the, I'm assuming it's Whisper White colorway. So instead of doing garter stitch ridges, I'm actually doing stockinette. And instead of doing like the reduced sleeves down to a cuff, it will be the bell sleeves that's in the picture with the stripes of this along. And I'm thinking that I'll also use this color to do a join along the seam and make it like a visual seam using an I-cord seaming method where you pick up one from one side and one from the other side and kind of do an I-cord back and forth. So you end up with a ridge of I-cord pink up the side, just in case I can't get the colors to line up exactly right in terms of the striping with these, but also because I think it would be a nice accent to bring a bit more of this pink into the whole thing. So I hadn't cast this on at all last week, right? And I have done this much of the back. Quite a lot. I've just been going and going on it, and I'm loving how the colors are turning out. I just think that it is really a fun color changing yarn, and I'm liking seeing how it's working up. It's on big needles for me. They're on 5 millimeters, so it's nice and chunky work. And because it's acrylic, it's not sticky in my hands the same as wool is when it's been warm. Excuse me. So it's actually been a real joy to work on. And because at the moment it is literally just stockinette until it gets to a certain length to do shaping, it is really lovely, easy, mindless knitting, which I am really, really enjoying since I've been back at work and back working here in the shed as well. Because I did realize the reason that I haven't had anywhere near as much craft time is because I'm back yarn dyeing and market prepping, and I'm back at work and I'm back recording videos. So all of that is taking time out of my crafting time. So I have to take that into account and really make sure that I'm enjoying what I'm doing when I am in that crafting mode. So I'll do the back and then I'll do the front the same as this with the shaping, and then I'm going to use this to seam up the side. I'm hoping that I can get the skeins to match reasonably well in terms of getting the striping pattern close. They do look fairly predictable in terms of how they work. So if I kind of grab it at the light section here to start down here, it will end up being reasonably close, I think. So I just have to work that once I get to it. But yeah, really, really loving this project. And even though it was kind of on my radar, but not probably on my immediate radar, it's here now, and I think it's going to be the one that I'm working on the most for a little while. Although, having said that, then I'll probably completely change my mind because that's just what I do. But Yeah, I would like to actually get the grassland tank finished because it's definitely not far from being done. So that might get a little bit of work this weekend, especially if it's super hot, because I will be probably sitting inside and knitting most of the time rather than doing anything else. But yeah, and I these acrylics are actually really nice to work with. They're quite soft, and this one's got a little bit of like a fuzz and a halo to it, and it almost it feels like wool. So it's been a long time since I've actually worked with an acrylic yarn, and I would work with these again, um, given how I'm enjoying the feel of them to work with. Obviously, I still really love wool, and both acrylic and wool have a place in someone's crafting. So, yeah, I just thought these are really good recommendations of yarns that you might try and use if you're looking for some non-wool options. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.